Welcome back to the Crypto Rainn channel. I'm your host Jay Murph, and today I want to talk some more about this gaming sector. Why? Well, I want to share with you my thoughts. I know it's hot right now. Now, this isn't a buy signal for me. There are possibly some returns that still can be made, but the risk is getting higher. That's why I tried to identify this 3 weeks ago when the risk was much lower and the gains potential is much higher. Some of you might have been new to the channel or didn't know me yet and know how I think about these things. So I did want to do an update video because it's in the news. I want to use this time to kind of share with you how I think about these things. So I still have the command center set up. I mean, it's mostly set up. I don't have internet there. And yeah, annoying, right? So I will be getting fiber there later. It's just been a pain to get it set up to the specific office, and should have something soon. But for now, I set up a makeshift spot in my home, and so I at least have something so I can record videos when there's something I want to talk about without having to drive half an hour to the office. So let's get into gaming and what is going on. I want to break down for you how I think about these things, specific projects and where their price is at, how I think about that, as well as I know many of you wanted me to share with you how to analyze projects in general, and I'd like to cover that a lot more. I'm going to start covering some of that today so you can see how to look at projects, because their price only tells you a tiny bit of information. There's a lot more information you need to understand in order to make solid decisions. Alright, so here we go. First, I'm looking at Axie Infinity. Now, this is definitely not a buy signal to me. Do you see this huge parabolic move? And so the time to have made money on Axie Infinity is anywhere along this curve. Now, right here, if you had bought their AXS token, you know, what usually happens, people FOMO in, and then they panic sell here. And then if they had just held it, it's done tremendous. Now, the AXS token, when it came out, it wasn't clear exactly what the value would be. They had said it would be like a voting token, so it would give you voting rights, but I don't care so much about voting rights. However, it does seem that they tied some of their revenues from their exchange to then distributing to some of their token holders, and that's cool. That gave it real value, which is why I think things are pumping so much on this. Now, to expect that this kind of pump will continue is very, very hopeful. I don't take those kind of approaches. Look how parabolic it already is. Now, that doesn't mean it can't trade sideways, have a retracement, and then possibly move up more, but look how parabolic this is. Then when something goes parabolic like this, and we talked about Axie 3 weeks ago when really all the action started to happen, and I shared with you, I was seeing some action on it, and that my guess is it would spread to the gaming NFT sector in general. And guess what played out? It spread to the gaming NFT sector in general. So this is Netvrk, and I covered them a while ago. Before. I like this project. They have a really good gaming engine that they're developing, and it's still pretty early days. They've only been out for about 3 months, and so they came out, did pretty well. They caught the end of the gaming NFT sector before, and then the price has just settled, which is fine, and then it's taking off. Now, they're much earlier in the parabolic curve, so it could come up here and retrace some. My guess is many of these ones I'm going to share with you, there might still be some run left. However, they get riskier the more they've already pumped, because if you had bought it here at like 15 or 16 cents, you're already up 3x from where you bought. And so could it go another, 100% up from here, or 200% up? In other words, 1x or 2x from here? It could. Whether it will or not, we'll see. The volume, though, you got a little spike in volume here, a little spike in volume here. So often there's still some run left to go. But if you look at the dates on this, I want to share with you. So we covered Axie Infinity when I was starting to see a lot of sales happen here and some activity. And sure enough, the AXS token best reflects overall what's going on with the Axie environment. And the token price started to take off. It's since gone absolutely parabolic, but it started way back near the end of June. So as it's gone parabolic right around this point, so the 20th through the 23rd of July, look at when these other ones started to really pop. So Netvrk popped the 23rd of July and has run up since then. Mist, you see, the 21st of July and took off. Stalink, you see, took off on the 23rd of July. So what often I see in crypto is that something within a narrative often leads the charge. And so then there's a bunch of gains made on that one, and then people are asking themselves, well, what is going to run next? Which then, some of the other things within that narrative take off exactly like we're seeing. Now, what's interesting is within that greater narrative is a token that you're probably all familiar with that hasn't run yet. Now, my guess is it will. I don't know that it will, but it fits in that narrative a little bit differently because some of these other things are like play to earn, have play to earn potential, which is exactly what made Axie so popular, is the play to earn model. And it's making some people tons of income because the value of the smooth love potion has gone up, so they're able to earn that and then sell it and make maybe $20 in a day or maybe $20 in an hour. I don't know exactly how much they're making. It probably depends on their win percentage because your SLP tokens depend on your wins. You get more for wins than you do losses. So that's what has driven this, which has then spread into what's next within this, which is why I brought up these specific projects. Now there's more. Splinterlands and some others. Splinterlands is kind of like a card-based game, which isn't my forte. I like that area, and I'm invested in Legends of Crypto, which is still coming out, and the exact gameplay is, from my understanding, being retooled by, I don't know if it's public, the name of who's or some of the people that work for a major company that is very experienced in the space are helping them retool it for a gameplay that's supposed to be better. So that's exciting with Legend of Crypto game, but it's also in this narrative. I don't know if it's so much play to earn so much as it's NFTs with game functionality that'll play. So it is in the broader space. Now, Enjin hasn't popped yet, and if we were to draw this out on, say, TradingView, you would see I'd put a line going down this way, and then we see this flattened bottom. And so it broke out of that trend, and then instead of going down, has been trading sideways. This is often followed by an increase. Now, where can it go from here? Well, its market cap is already pretty high. It's at 1.2 billion. Maybe by the end of this bull run, maybe it hits a 20 billion market cap or maybe a 10 billion. We'll see. They haven't had a lot of big news lately, but in the past they've had some really big news, and the general market overall has been pulling back with not a lot of new money coming in. So that's exactly why you see this big decrease. And then the flattening, that tells you that there's a lot of people that hold that at this price we're not interested in selling. And so every time it hit down to this low of about 94 cents or under $1, that's when buyers came in and were buying it up. So that gave us really solid resistance line there, and probably following this greater trend, my guess is ready to go up from here. Now, if you're hearing some knocking sounds, my home that I'm in, we're renting an apartment while we look for the right house. I didn't want to have to come in and find a house, so it's nice, some luxury apartments. They're really nice, great pool and hot tub, and love it, and the common areas are fantastic, but it is an apartment, and apparently they're doing some construction next door. So let's get on to sharing with you how to analyze projects. Now let's start with Enjin coin because all the details are here. Now sometimes when a project's fairly new, you don't get all the details. The details I like to look at is, first, the token price is only relative when you understand what the token supply is. Other than that, the token price doesn't tell you very much. So say a project has 10 tokens and the token price is $1,000 a piece. That would put the whole market cap at $10,000. And say it had really good developers, really good CEO and everything. That would put that in an amazing buy. Amazing, like once in a lifetime, you're never going to get that kind of deal ever again, even though the token price is $10,000. Say another project, they have 10 million coins, and those tokens are going for $1 a piece. Well, their market cap is $10 million. So even though the tokens are cheaper per token, the other one is a far better buy if the teams and vision are equivalent, right, and connections that they have. And so token price only matters relative to the token supply. But in addition to the token supply or the total supply, you also want to have an idea of what the current circulating supply is. Because the way they calculate what the market cap is, and this is the number that tells you more than the price, is they take the price of the tokens by the circulating supply, and that's what gives you the market cap. The reason why you want to understand what the total supply is because sometimes, especially in the first few years of the project, there's different token unlocks to the pre-sale buyers or to the team or other things. And so sometimes like 5% of the tokens might get released to the team members, and maybe it's already up 500x from where it was initially, say like 4 years ago. So often they'll take profits and sell that 5%, because even though if the price dumps temporarily down by half, they're still up incredibly, and so they're happy with that. Now, who isn't super stoked about that is us as investors if we buy right before something like that happens. Now, a lot of times, there's few projects where the team unlocks are going to be so, up so much. Like I'm sure the Cardano team, if they're having team unlocks still, they're probably up like 500x from where it started at, and their initial price was when it was contracted out that they'd be getting tokens. But a lot of these projects might be up overall like 10 or 20 x, and so still at that number, the team gets their tokens. They might be selling some, so it's just something to be aware of. We see in Enjin, most of their supply is already in circulation, so there's not big unlocks that can happen that can hurt the price. Now, if we go to Netvrk here, most of their pre-sale tokens have already been released. I've spoken with the CEO of Netvrk a couple times just through some friends. I don't know him really well. From what I've seen, actually, the people I know that know him really like him. Solid guy. So you see on this price, and most of the pre-sale tokens have been released. I think there's like a couple drops left. And so most of the unlocks have happened. You see this nice rounded bottom here. But if you go to look for all the information we want to see, you only get some of that here. And we're on CoinGecko here. So here we can see that the total supply is 100 million. Now we don't know how much is in circulation. So we don't know what the market cap is, because to know the market cap, we'd need to know the circulating supply times by the price. Now, if we go to Coin Market Cap, now sometimes Coin Market Cap and CoinGecko, they might have slightly different information. Sometimes you'll get information on one that isn't on the other. So like CoinGecko told us, the max supply is 100 million. But they do go ahead and calculate out the fully diluted market cap. So 100 million times 47, or times the current price of 47 cents, takes us to 47 million fully diluted market cap. That means if all the tokens were in supply, in circulation right now, times by the current price, that would give us this as the market cap. Now, my guess is maybe 50% or less are in circulation right now, and it's probably less. It might only be like 30% or something. So the true market cap might be only 30% of this, which would put it around 15 million, which, is fairly low. Not as cheap as it probably was just recently when it's 3x from where it was. So if the total market cap is about 30 million now, it would have been 10 million, or the total current market cap about 15 million, would have been about 5 million. But we don't know exactly where the market cap is, only this fully diluted market cap, and we don't know how much is in circulation. Let's check some of these others. Mist, do we know? Okay, so they're giving us the market cap here. They're saying it's 9.2 million, which isn't terribly high. We've seen in a bull run that market caps can run up over 100 million, even on these smaller projects, fairly easily. And if the project really takes off like Axie did, it can end up in the billions. So market cap at 9 million, you see they just had a big run up. What is that? About 10 days ago, their price was about 2.5 cents, and now they're at 17 cents. So big run up. You do see some retracement here. So big run up, some sideways trading. So this is usually when people are trying to play these types of things, and we'll talk about the plays here. Now, what you do is on you. This isn't my recommendation of what to do. I'm just going to share with you what some people do. Understand that this is risky. The best time to buy was during this long rounded bottom. It's now in the hype cycle, which means the hype cycle could end at any point, and then a bigger retracement could happen. We might be at the end of it. My guess is we're not. Maybe for AXS token, because look how high it is. Look at how high this market cap is. It's at 2.5 billion. So if we were to figure Netvrk's market cap, just guessing that a third of theirs is in supply, so that their total market cap is 1/3 of this, so at 15 million. So it could go almost 200x before it hits the market cap that AXS is in. Now, Axie is a lot more developed with a lot bigger player base than any of these other ones can have yet, because they're too new. But Mist total market cap is much lower, as well as the boom kind of just started for it. So what happens is usually it'll take a leg up, and then often takes a second leg up. So parabolic moves, you actually see that here. Look how it took a leg up, then went sideways, and then absolutely boomed, and then big retracement. So this is why I say to be careful, because what goes up often goes down, especially if we're not in the full-on bull market, which I don't think we are yet. We're in the bull market, but we're not in the blow-off top, fully parabolic move. My guess is this is just a sub-cycle where the focus is on gaming and NFTs, and especially things that might be play to earn, and they're taking off. And so you'll see some new money coming into the space. You'll see a lot of money selling other things and rolling into these, chasing green candles. So be careful chasing green candles. So this is a large green candle followed by some red here, right? If you think about if this were showing the colors, what it would be. So at least this is on a retrace. If I were playing this, and I'm not, I would be buying about here, even though it's up a little bit more. And then I would be taking the ride up. Now, my command center's not set up. That's just my comfort level when I have my multiple screens that I can look at and just really feel fully up to date. When I don't feel fully up to date, I don't FOMO into things. And so I'm not trying to make this play myself. Stalink, what have we seen? Okay, run up, a little bit of a pullback, run up, some sideways trading. Their current market cap, let's look at the numbers. So we know that their total supply, wow, is 10 billion. Is that the number? So this would be, that would be, no, that's 10 trillion, I think. Wow. Okay, that is some big numbers. So what's this? This would be 100 million. This would be 100 billion. So 10 trillion. Goodness. Let's see what markets this is on. Okay, so it's on Uniswap, so you can buy it here, and if I'm trying to trade something on Uniswap, I'll go ahead and click on it right here, and it will actually bring it up for me. Alright, so Stalink, huge circulating supply total. Don't know anything about their current circulating supply. So I don't know what that is. If I were speculating on this, it's trading sideways. It might pull back some before continuing the run, if it continues the run. Now, I think some of these plays might have a week left in them before then doing what we saw, which was the one that really showed us this. Mist showed us this so beautifully, right? Trading about 6 cents, pops up to 35 cents, and then actually comes back to lower than it ever was before. So that's why I'm cautious on these. That's why I covered the video, I think, yesterday on what next, right? So if I'm not already loaded up in this space, and I am somewhat loaded in this space, not as much I would have liked to be, but when you move, everything gets disjointed, or I would have 3 weeks ago really started loading up more in this space. So then it's going up. At some point, it might even come back down near to where it is. Why? Because I feel like the big run that's coming happens later this year, like November, December. Could be wrong on that. Could be starting now. Still, my thought is later this year, and then possibly some more that happens March, April, May, somewhere in there. That's just my guess, but I do feel strongly that we have at least one more big bull run. So if I were playing this move, I would probably add to my Enjin position. I would set some to automatically sell on the double or triple from there, and I would take my initial back out and maybe even a little bit of profit, and then I would let the rest ride, is probably how I would play it. I do thank you for joining me here, and yeah, just trying to get things back in order and get back to normal, and then try to add some things so I can bring you more shows, more episodes, keep you up to date, because I feel like we're going to get into the really exciting part of the season. So if you're joining me here, we're maybe at the tail end of a boring streak and getting into some fun action, and this is a lot more fun action to see. I did tell you I would talk about W's, and I really like to look at that on TradingView, but let me just share with you, this is like a small W here. W's tell us when things are usually about to turn around, and so what characterizes a W is you kind of have a rounded bottom on the bottom of the W. So W here, the second leg of a true W is usually higher, like it's a higher low from here. So this one went down to 94 cents. This one went down to $1. This is what a W looks like. And then it's usually ready to run from here. All right, I do want to thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time.